What's up guys, Chris here, doing a first video test on my new 4K camcorder. It's a Panasonic HC-VXF990 model, and it's currently recording in 4K 24p, which is 3840 by 2160 resolution. And it's running at 72 megabits per second bitrate for the recording. So the only downside, well actually there are a couple of them, but the main thing that you're going to notice from my previous videos is that the frame rate is going from 50 FPS on my old 1080p camera down to 24p on this camera, and that's simply because it's not capable of recording at any higher frame rate than that in 4K. So the main thing that you'll notice is, like, if I get my hand in the frame and sort of move around, I'm recording at what they call like a 180 shutter speed. So if you're recording at 24 frames, you want to have a 48th of a shutter speed. So it does have a little bit of an impact on movement. Now, I usually don't like have high action footage going on here, so but it's going to look not as smooth as the old videos. Fun fact about 24p, at least what I found online, is the reason why the film industry is sort of set on 24p. It's not the minimum number of frames that is required for your eyes to like see smooth movement, but rather it was because on the old film strips, the audio track was running along the actual film strip itself, and 24 frames, meaning 24 hertz sample rate of the audio, was the minimum they could get and get smooth audio. At least that's what I heard. So the other thing I'm going to be doing with this footage is I'm recording in full 4K HD resolution, 3840 by 2160. However, most people, including myself, don't have 4K compatible devices to look at. So we're talking about, obviously, smartphones, not 4K, tablets, not 4K, laptops. I think there might be some 4K capable laptops. And then we're moving up to like PC monitors, where it might be a little bit more possible for people to have 4K, and also on TVs. The other thing is that I don't really see the point in outputting my videos in full 4K resolution. So anyway, what I'm getting at is, what I'm going to do is I record in 4K full resolution. Then you downsample these 4K down to 1080p, and what happens is you're sort of like, I don't know, I'm not sure if it's the correct terminology, but you're sort of like getting denser, higher pixel density, and so your video is going to look a lot more crisp and clear, a lot more detail if you push downsample to 1080. So I'm recording full 4K. I'm going to be editing in full 4K, and then when I do my Premiere Pro media encoder export, that's where I'll convert it from 4K to 1080p. So we'll see how that turns out. I think I'm actually going to upload this actual video that I'm recording right now. So I'm going to upload one in 4K native resolution, 24p. We're going to do one downsample to 1440p, which is sort of like halfway in between 4K and 1080. It's the 2560 by 1440 resolution. And then I'm going to do a full downsample test rendering down to 1080p. The native 4K I think I set to be 60 to 72 megabits bitrate. 1440 I believe I set 55 to 65, and for the 1080p downsample, I think I'm going with 45 to 60 in the actual sample rate. I'm sorry, bit rate for the output. So anyway, I have, as per usual, my color calibration targets set up here. It's going to be fun to see if there's a difference in dynamic range, color, contrast. The old camera was actually pretty good with faithfully reproducing what I noticed in, I think my second to last video, where I did sort of showcasing here, the funny thing was the footage straight out of the camera, there was basically no difference after I color corrected. So that's big thumbs up to the Panasonic cameras for being able to do that. So let's zoom out. The other thing, it kind of feels like the furthest zoom out on this camera is a little bit tighter than my old camera, but I'm not exactly sure. I actually think this is more wide angle, but so let's take a look. So this is my 50% gray card. It's supposed to be completely neutral. And then I'm not sure if any of you read my Facebook's post, but I was doing like lumetri color, HLS, hue, saturation, light, whatever, HSL, secondary color correction, where I've tried to match each of these color swatches to their actual RGB values. And the mistake I made was I made the selections for the corrections too tight. So if I for example move this target up towards the camera, the white here is going to get blown out the closer I get to the camera, because obviously my light source is now closer, and so the light intensity being put onto this white is more than if it's down here. So if I correct down here and move something up, the objects up here are going to fall outside of the range for the correction selection. Whatever, that's beside the point. Let's take a little close-up of this bad boy. I'm really interested to see what the final quality is going to be like, especially downsampled 1080. But I can tell already on the viewfinder that it's going to be crisp. Let's put it that way. So the last video I did on the 1080p camera, one of the latest, was with the VP9. So I figured I would throw this in here and see if we can't get like a feel for how it compares. So the dynamic range and contrast, at least on the viewfinder, look way better on this 4K, almost like HDR quality. There is an HDR mode on the camera, but it can't be enabled in 4K mode. So, but anyway, let's try it out. Let's see, does it autofocus? It does. Wow. Wow. I mean, even on the like 2.5-inch LCD monitor here on the camera, I can see just how insanely crisp this is. So you'll probably be able to tell when I'm moving things around, what I was talking about before, about the frame rate difference going from 60 to 24. Hopefully we'll be able to manage. The autofocus seems almost a little bit slower than on the old camera, but it might be, just because of the increased resolution that the sensor is not really, as quick to pick up what's happening. Let's see if we go. Yeah, it's not really following along. There we go. All right, so HK, VP9, Umarex, VFC, Crusader steel parts. Trying to see if I can force it to autofocus on the rear dots, but this is a common problem because all of the autofocus in these type of cameras is contrast based. So if my background, if I had like a red cross down here, it wouldn't matter what I put up, like this, it would still be focusing down here. So that's just something you need to get used to. You have to go like this for it to catch the hello? No? There we go. Yeah, then it's going to take a little bit of getting used to just how this autofocus is working and whatnot. Let's see, what does this look like if we have something? I mean, that's pretty quick moving. Wow, the dynamic range and contrast look superb on the viewfinder. So I'm also going to be upgrading my audio output. I'm recording in WAV format right now, and I'm going to be outputting to AAC version 2, 96 kilohertz sample rate and like 256 bit rate. So we'll see how that goes. Obviously, I put a post up on my Facebook on the different stats on bitrate and how much memory this is eating up. I'm even not sure if my actual computer is going to be able to manage to edit 4K. So it might be like a snowballing effect of you buy the camera here and then over here suddenly you bought a new house with a full recording studio because of that 4K camera. So we'll have to see what happens. I'm running a 32 gigabyte SanDisk card right now, and the advertised recording time that I can fit is just under an hour on this. So I've already bought a 64 gig card. I'm going to buy another 64 gig card. And yeah, we'll see. But I'm definitely, you know, so maybe you're disappointed in that it's not going to be full output 4K video, but I definitely think that the crispness will be getting in downsampling to 1080p is going to be worth it. So, yeah, I think I'll settle for that as a first test video. Actually, we can throw in the Garter custom Glock, can get a little bit of limelight as well. Let me just wipe off the silicone here. Alright, Garter Glock 19 Custom. Actually, I called it the Garter Ultimate Custom Glock 19 Gen 3 build. And yeah, the autofocus does feel a little bit slower. But again, it might be just because of the, you know, the resolution. It has to be more, think a little bit harder about what pixels to actually catch on to. Wow. 4K, baby. Yeah, I think this is going to be a nice upgrade for my channel and the video quality, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. I know I probably will. As I've said always on this channel, it's out of personal interest, that I have an interest for audio and video and photography, that I try to keep the quality of things very high on this channel. But it's also, I want to be able to offer high quality content like information and also high quality video. So hopefully that's what's going to happen here. We're going to step it up another notch. And yeah, that's it for the 4K test video. Like I said, this will be coming up in 4K native, 1440, and 1080p. So that's 2160, 1440, 1080, 24p, 72 megabits of raw data right on your screen. Well, actually, you're not going to get that, but I will. So, okay, see you guys later. Bye-bye.